Morning after the night before, man, I'm not happy. I'm sure you as Arsenal fans aren't. We've accepted the result. I'm sure you lot are at work. You're holding corner, in the group chats and in the office, and you're not showing your face. And you know what, Arsenal fans? We have to hold that. I'll be real. We have to hold that. If you lot can see my Instagram DMs, my Twitter mentions, my WhatsApp groups, Snapchat, friends and family, they're on me. I didn't realize I'm like King Von, I'm like the Grim Reaper, because the minute we've slipped up, everybody and their dog, people that ain't spoken to me for years, people are replying to report tweets from September. But you know what? It's all banks. You got to hold it. You can't get, if you give it, you got to take it in it. And I'll say this, Arsenal, we've got no divine right to win games, yeah. And you lot didn't just let me down, or the fans around the world down, or the thousands that travel up and down. You let yourselves down. You let yourselves down. Because it's you lot that have to live with that feeling of regret. Me personally, I think, I'm not that guy that's going to do the everything's mad rubbish and everything's mad great, provided there's, everything does look great and everything does look thingy. What I would say is we've got ourselves to a good platform generally in this season, in all comps. I do think I say that because that's despite us talking about the same old issues, whether it's the system, whether it's this player, whether it's that player, whether it's our attackers, whether it's not killing games, whether it's we're very robotic and not going against the system, reworking the system, whatever we're saying, we've got to where we've got to in January. And I feel like we're talking about the same thing. There's one thing I'll always battle Arsenal fans about, because they see the same movie and then they act like something's different. You can hide behind the statistics of how many goal scorers we've got. Every attacking player is struggling when it comes to the Premier League. None of them are consistently getting to it. A lot of that is on the players. That is also on the system. Let's have it right. That is definitely on the system. And I keep saying we can hide behind this one scores, that one scores. There's all sorts of goals. I like scoring from open play. I don't care about scoring from set pieces. I demand my attackers pull their fingers out. I demand Mikel Arteta generates a system that creates more clear-cut chances. I don't think we're playing to our final third in that regards, people. But football's decided at both ends. And even if you want to hide behind that, when the pressure's really on, when we really just need to go and do this thing, who do you look at to get goals? Who was you looking at to grab a goal against Man United, despite the fact that we found two? Which player did you see? Liverpool the same. The game before that against Forest the same, and plenty of others, people. That is what we're talking about. And I think it's a game for Mikel Arteta and the players to sit there in shame, if I'm honest with you. Mikel Arteta, you lost the tactical battle against Carrick. And I only mentioned that because naturally I'm vexed with the players. Carrick kept the same 11, did what he needed to do, kept the same 11. And again, I think Man United, Michael Carrick, Manchester United, all their players, whether they started or not, deserve big credit. Of course, I don't care about handball shouts and all of that. Maguire stood up. Martinez stood up. The lot, got pressured 1-2 times against Trossard. He stood up. Lemens, time wasting. And I'm not saying that in a disingenuous way. This is how you get a result. Luke Shaw, first game, he's been able to just keep Saka somewhat quiet in it. Saka didn't really do nothing. Simple as that. Dorgu, as much as I was bantering about a left back playing left wing, told me to shut my mouth, scored an absolute cracker. And Buemo didn't have much change, but the minute Zubimendi provided a mistake, he exploited that. Cunha off the bench, reacting immediately. That was childish from my players yesterday. Absolute childish, and credit to Man United. They weathered the first half an hour. Yeah, they beat Manchester. Obviously, going into this game, yeah, they beat Manchester City. And you know what? They've slapped both the title rivals. They said, you lot fighting for a league, yeah? Is well, it is, in it. United fair play in the last two games, in it. I'm going to get you back because you're chatting. But you have to give, I think they played with maturity. I've seen this movie several times. They come into the Emirates, they had no win in 7. This is their first win in 8. We started, in my opinion anyways, first half an hour, we started very well. We're playing with the balls all in their own half. You have to be able to weather the storm. That happens in many a Premier League game when you're visiting the away grounds. I think they did that. The only thing we did well is score some goals. And actually, it's mad because after, a part of me wishes in hindsight we didn't break the deadlock, because had it have been 0-0 going into the second half, maybe it's a different thing. Everything went downhill from the fact that we scored. Now, mistakes happen. Madueke, you made a mistake which led to the third. Zubimendi, you've been making this. You look, I'm the biggest Zubimendi fan there is. But when it comes to those typical Premier League English games, big clashes, you need someone else, man. He's still going through that culture shock. You players made mistakes. And I guess there were several others that we could blame. And players will make mistakes. It happens. It's football. But one thing I hate, is I like equality. I like fairity. Obviously, there's a hierarchy in the squad. It feels like certain men make those mistakes that we've seen yesterday. they're never seen again, quote unquote, exaggeration. And it feels like certain men make these mistakes again and again and again and again. In even look at Embuemo exploiting the mistake from Zubamendi to get on the score sheet. Cunha's goal was a banger, but it's the fact of a bit of individual brilliance. We've conceded a goal. We're getting back in this. Then the naivety, the immaturity from my boys yesterday is not on. How can the mistakes piss me off the least? You've got yourselves back in the game twice. Twice you've got back in the game, and then you've shot yourselves in the foot straight after scoring. They've gone and scored again. That's immaturity. You're not really creating clear-cut chances, and when you do, it's nothing of note. And I'm feeling like I'm watching the same old things. When have we played great over 90 minutes on a consistent basis in the Premier League? In fact, when has there been a great 90 minutes? Generally, cool. Start of the season, Leeds, Nottingham Forest. For me, I'd give it Newcastle. But you're struggling whether we've won or not. And then if you look at one game, we've played great for 90 minutes. Go and tell me when we've put that together in a cluster, because you can't. You can tell me in a different game where, you know, Aston Villa, we were decent in the second half and this, that, and the third. And even that, I'm seeing too many times this emotional kind of performances. What was said at halftime? Because whatever Man United said, they came out on what they needed to come out on. What was said at halftime between us? Because you should have scored way earlier than the first half. And our goals change games. And until our manager knows you can't keep putting square pegs in round holes, I understand why you went with Gabriel Jesus. Probably played his way into the lineup because of the Inter game. Gyökeres starting probably wouldn't have got no change. And I don't know what he's doing in the second bit of the game as well. I don't understand it though. Because I'm not no tactician, but it was screaming out Marino up front. It was screaming, that game screamed from before a ball was kicked, Marino up front. I don't understand, I understand the premise, but moving Saka to the left-hand side for that Madueke cameo was absolutely appalling. Rice was a bit of a passenger. He won 1-2 balls and that didn't really see anything. Zubamendi, I've got a lot of time for you, but anonymous. My captain, Martin Odegaard. You know what? I actually think Eze done what he could in it. I can't expect fireworks. Odegaard can't keep starting, and I'm not scapegoating him, but it's not fair now. It's not fair now. It's not fair now. It's not fair. You've shipped out Wanyeri, big him up. All right, go do your thing at Marseille. Stop, allow it now. It's too nice and comfy. And these last 3 games, 9 points have been, and I know there's going to be wobbles. Life is swings and roundabouts. We obviously earned the right to win the games before early in the season. But you see, when we was getting away with certain things and people wanted to hide behind statistics and talking about game management when you're 15 minutes away against Sunderland and things like that, these things will always come back to bite you on the arse. We need to chase the illusion of perfection. Is it all doom and gloom? Of course, right now it is. I don't know if Arsenal are going to win the league, but what you need to do is show character. What you need to do is you can't throw nothing away now. The last 3 games, you've hit a wobble, and it feels like familiar settings in that regards. The last 3 games, there's been 9 points on the table. You've taken 2. Forgive me if my math's wrong, because you drew against Forest, you drew against Liverpool, and you lost against Man United. Okay, that's your 3rd loss of the season. The last 3 games doesn't erase the good work you've done. But this is what I mean when I say we a lot of the times our best friends, we shoot ourselves in the foot. Again, I'm one to run bants and things. Street smart performance from Manchester United, from their manager, from their players. Of course, if they could avoid it, going back in hindsight, they probably don't want to have a first half an hour like that. Probably don't reckon they should have conceded 2, but they won the battle. 2 great performances week in, week out now. And you know what? A lot of my football supporting friends that don't support Man United are getting involved. Some of them support Chelsea and Liverpool. You know what? You don't want United to keep winning games because they're onto you lot. For us, we got to get on with it, innit? It's 4 points. And this is why I told people, don't get too excited with any points gap. Of course, we'll take anything. There's no stock in it. It can change very quickly. We have done the chasing. Obviously, we ain't won the league, but we have done the chasing and been the chasers. For me, the mistakes are one thing. They're not creating chances are one thing. They're not defending chances is one thing. Seeing the same old thing, the boring, predictable, systemic football, there's that. But the lack of maturity, the immaturity, the lack of maturity in these last 3 games in certain moments, definitely against Man United. And I feel generally this season for whatever reason. So all of you lot are shooting yourselves in the foot. You made it harder than it needs to be, really. It's as simple as that, man. So for me, I know the players, and I'm not saying, I don't know the players. I'm not saying you don't care. I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you're trying, and it's great to attack them and whatnot. But at the end of the day, yeah, I see Englishmen, Spanish players, all different kind of South America, Brazil, all different kind of countries and nations and all of that. And that's irrelevant. But I say this to say that the best language you can talk on a football pitch is with your feet, When you pass a ball, you're giving a teammate information. The way you defend tells the fans everything. The way you attack tells the fans everything. The very fact that you quick and fast, you willed off 4 substitutes, Mikel Arteta told me everything, We're all in this together, but all you lot shot yourselves in the foot. And again, especially against the top 6 sides, it's been a bit, and what a way to lose your home record. But all you can do is move on. Go and put it right against Leeds. And that's not going to be easy. I was saying Leeds United, they're the real United. If you think Ellen Road's an easy trip, if anyone wants to feel sorry for themselves, don't know what to tell you, man. Disappointing weekend. Just got to keep it moving now, man. Always